Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi, yeah. Sorry, this I think would be only one video that we made during this week because we have a tough time. This is channel Autistic Multiple Life. This channel was created to erase stigma around autism and dissociative identity disorder and other neurodiversities. And today here Abu Hamza and I think Abu Omar is near me. And I want to speak about is dissociative identity disorder is real a disorder, okay? Yeah. At first, what I mean. I believe that dissociative identity disorder exists. Okay, because many people don't believe that it's real. I believe that OSDD, or partly dissociative identity disorder, like it's called in some countries, exists. Okay. But I don't believe that it's really a disorder. To understand it, at first we need to speak about what is disorder is. Disorders, illnesses, and disease is conditions that harm people, that harm this person. No, not dependent of society, not dependent of what's going on around. Okay. For example, even if person would live in perfect condition, but this person would have a depression, this person would suffer, or cancer, or I don't know, even flu or COVID, okay? It doesn't matter if we're speaking about physical disorder or mental disorder, physical illnesses or mental illnesses. Illness and disorder is something that harm the body, harm the person, okay? And some disorders are disabilities. For example, some people with cancer have disabilities, some people with depression have disability, some people with obsessive compulsive disorder, and so on and so forth, could have disability. But disability is a social concept. There are many models of disability. One of model is medical model. You already knew it, I think. Medical model is this: all problems is about condition, not about society. It's could, for example, if person have depression, what we need to do, we need to find a way to prevent depression, we need to find tablets, we need to find drugs, we need to find treatment, we need to find psychotherapy. And another model is a popular model is charity model. Charity model is about, for example, how we could help these poor people with depression. And another model is social model. Social model in this way, if we're speaking about depression, social model if how we can make society to better understand what depression is, how we can make our world more inclusive for people with depression, and how we could make, I don't know, for example, doctors to better understand how to work with patients with depression, because sometimes it's difficult for patients with depression to go to doctors. How we could help employers to better understand what depression is. How we can help homeless people with depression. It's not charity model because it's not about pity. It's about civil rights. It's about changing society. It's about nothing about us without us. Okay? And why I'm speaking about all this stuff? Like you see, even when we speak about depression, we could use a different model of disability. It's not a extreme model, as for example, It's a legal model, it's about laws and other models, moral models. It's like in some religious communities, in moral models about depressions would be that God, for example, punish you and give you depression. And it's many models exist. But in our Western society, more popular is medical model and social model, sometimes charity model. Why I'm speaking about all this model? I'm speaking about it because disability is more about society. It's more about understanding condition. And this labeled disease or disorder or illness is more about medicine. Okay? When I said that I don't believe that dissociative identity disorder is real disorder, I mean that I believe that it's a disability, but it's not a disorder. Yeah, it could exist. This situation could exist. I believe that this situation exists with autism, and many autistic people believe that this situation exists with autism. For example, I don't know if my favorite example person who could hear would born in deaf world, in the world but no one here could hear. This person would need psychotherapy because the experience would be so different. This person would need to help to find a job because everyone is so loud and no one paying attention to sounds. And from all the childhood, this person would have problems with sleep because, like, yeah, if you couldn't hear, you don't need to pay attention to, I don't know, that you could make some noises, okay? But if you could hear, if you the only person in this world who could hear, or part of minority who could hear, you would have the problem just because this world not created for people who could hear. But the ability to hear is not a disease, but in this society it would be a disability. The same with autism. Our society is created by neurotypical people for neurotypical people by a list for a list. I would give a link below what it's about neurodiversity paradigm and autism. It's I think hundreds and thousands articles in different languages about this exist. But it's not so popular topic about dissociative identity disorder. Rural community exists in internet, but it's not a big community, and it's not so popular opinion that dissociative identity, that system life could be a kind of norm, kind of disability, just because we live in society created by singles for singles. But I believe in it, and I knew different systems, other systems that believe in it too. Okay, why I believe in it? Because I couldn't imagine my life like a singlet. I don't want really to be a singlet. And I'm happy that I am who I am. Does it mean that we don't have a problem because we are multiple? No, but I believe that some singlets have problems because they're singlets. For example, I noticed that some stuff that more easy to do for me, it's not so easy to do for my wife who is singlet, and at the same time dissociation protective mechanisms don't work in with her very well at all. So it's some, I think that there is some benefits for being multiple, to be a system, but it's not just about benefits, it's just about who we are. I mean, who I am. I don't think that my existence, like an altar, or Imon's existence like a host, or I don't know, Mowgli's existence, Verba existence, and our existence are a mistake. But if I would think that be a multiple are something wrong, it's like said that our existence, our I don't know, personality, we are a mistake. I don't think so. Yeah, This system became a multiple system. We became a system because of trauma in childhood. But I don't believe what in all these we just born this way and it's normal because we're born this way crap. So seriously, I don't think that you need to accept gay people or trans people or autistic people just because they believe they was born this way. You need to accept them just because they are part of society, part of humanity, okay? And it's more beneficial for people that if our society is more happy. It's more beneficial for people if every person could be who they are. If we don't think that if we became multiple because of trauma, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't accept us. It's not about how we became multiple. It's about who we are now. I don't know. It's like some stuff in comics books. It doesn't matter if this person were born, for example, like in Marvel Universe, mutant, or this person was born mutant, I don't know, like Jean Grey or Eric Lansher, or this person became with this unusual ability, I don't know, like Spider-Man. Yeah, it's what is matter is who this person now. It's something like this. I don't mean that being multiple is kind of superpower. I mean just it's part who we are. And we want to be accept who we are, even if it's happened because of bad stuff. Sometimes good stuff would happen because of bad stuff. For example, we are not wanting child, yeah? So Ayman was born just because their parents have some problems with contraception. Problems with contraception is bad stuff, but we don't think that our existence is bad stuff, okay? And another way that I want to say it's about disability. Yeah, of course, be a multiple. I think a disability. And why? Could you, for example, imagine that you this situation that you never ever see babies in your life? Yeah, ordinary babies. Yeah, and one day, some person bring you a baby and say that you need to take care of this baby. You never see baby in TV. You never read any books about babies. You don't have young siblings. You don't have any idea what to do with this baby. Or for example, okay, not about baby, but about cats. Could you imagine that you could have cat, but you have no idea what to do with this cat? I mean, you don't know what cats eat. You don't know what food for cats is healthy, what food or not, how long this cat could live. What problems with health this cat could have. Okay, any cat could have, because you have never seen any cats in your life, but now you have a cat. Even if this cat, even if this baby is some kind of being that exists not part of you, exists in outside world, it could be deeply problematic. But we systems appeared in this situation when we appeared in this world, and we don't have any instruction what is meant to be a system. It's like sometimes it's because of we started to find information in internet and dig deeply and reach more about multiplicity and have self-diagnosis. Sometimes it's some specialists said to us that we could be multiple, or we find information themselves and after that some specialists said. But anyway, it's like we appeared with this information. You're multiple. You don't have many information even in now, even in the internet, what it means, even in English. It's kind of new topic, okay? You could find hundreds, thousands, millions of articles, for example, what to do if your baby have problems with his teeth, or what to do if you have psychological problem after giving birth to a baby or after divorce, but you couldn't find so even 10% of all these articles, of all these brochures, of all these books about, for example, what to do if you have problem with system communication, what to do if you have this kind of dissociative amnesia and couldn't do some stuff that most people could do most of the time. It just completely new, completely not exploring territory. And this is, I think, the main problem of BA system. It's so many questions that you found out every day, and it's more questions that it's more answers. And we was very lucky that we don't have many problems with acceptance as that we are a system, but we still have problems, for example, what we find out what to do with if our littles or our persecutors are triggered, but we don't know what to do until recently. If culture that we really trusted, adult culture, strong culture, not persecutor, is doing something behind our back. We just don't know what to do with this situation before. And yeah, we couldn't even imagine how we couldn't see, for example, a healthy autistic person, because all autistic kids, even new generation, even autistic kids rising in families accepting neurodiversity paradigm, even them raising binary typical norms. Because, for example, we don't have enough information how speech working with autistic kids, with many autistic kids, how to better to teach them to speak, or stuff like this about, I don't know, about halal, about sensory stuff. We don't have this information. Even people who support neurodiversity paradigms could make these mistakes and use neurotypical models, raising autistic kids, even autistic parents. But we couldn't even imagine how healthy systems look like. We couldn't even imagine how healthy person with dissociative identity disorder look like. So yeah, maybe it's now disorder, but not it's disorder because it's something wrong to be dissociated. It's disorder because we don't know how it could be person with dissociation without who work through all this trauma, who don't have trauma because of pretending, who don't have trauma because society couldn't accept their alters, who was, I don't know, raised by like a multiple since they became multiple. Okay? We don't know it. We don't see it yet. And because of this all system are traumatized. And it's not about this first trauma. It's about trauma that we faced in everyday life. Okay, yeah. Thank you so much for your attention. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to make it more visible. See you next time. Bye.